Hey, what's up? This is Nick from the band The Mighty Fall. You are watching Concert Junkies. Rob and John, tell these fine folks to hit the bell and subscribe. And then we're going to get to some questions. Question 1. Me and the guys all met. I've been playing with the same drummer since I was about 14 years old. Our drummer, Zach, is a long-time great friend of mine. And I met all the other guys through them. Through that situation, I was working in New York City. I came back home to Rhode Island to see some family for Christmas, and I ended up jamming with those guys. And our bass player, Zach, and I had a real stepbrothers, do you want to do karate in the garage moment, where I kind of just plonked along to some of the tunes on our first EP, Look the Part, or the songs that became that, and we kind of looked at each other and went, well, I don't want to stop jamming, you want to play some Pantera? So, of course, the rest is history. So I ended up moving back home not long after that, and that's that. Question 2. I've been influenced by a lot of bands over the years. Some of the main ones that kind of got me really truly into the idea of playing guitar. There's a kind of a little known band called Byzantine, who just were the complete package of unbelievably sick riffs and cool things going on, and it was just such and it's that sort of groove-oriented sort of thing. Of course, Pantera kind of factored in. Static X to me was very cool when I was a teenager, so there's that sort of caveman, really simple rhythm parts and like stuff that seemed, unlike most other bands, it seemed like something I could do when I was younger. So ultimately, I think and Tool also kind of came into the picture right around the time I started to take an interest in playing guitar too. So ultimately, guitar players that are a little more meat and potatoes in general kind of influenced me the most, and I think there's still a lot of that even in the busiest stuff that we do. I think there's a good chunk of that going on still. Question 3. What do I need on tour? One thing and one thing only. And if you've been on the road, you know what's up about this. Wet naps. Baby wipes. So for those of you who don't know, you spend a lot of time in tight quarters with a bunch of sweaty dudes. Things get a little stanky. It's pretty gross. So you gotta have those wet naps, man. Call it a truck stop shower, and I'm gonna leave it at that, at the request of the guys here. Question 4. If I was not playing music, in a perfect world, I would be making movies. I would be doing more of what I grew up wanting to do. My dad worked in TV. I kind of had a camera in my hands all the time. So there's that element of that, and I've delved into it a bit. In college, I studied TV production and video production in college, and ultimately, I'm trying to kind of like dip my toe a little more into like doing music video stuff for people, just strictly on kind of a local level, and get myself to where I'm doing that other thing that I also really want to do. Question 5. Favorite venue to play? Easy. No question. If we're talking our local community in Providence, Rhode Island, where my band is from, Fett Music Hall, Olneyville represent. Those are my guys. That venue is unbelievable. There's a small room and there's a big room. Every metal band worth their salt comes through there. We've been very lucky in that we've gotten to play with a ton of them. So it's a great time. Love them to death. Justin over there's our boy. Great place to play. Outside of New England is let me see. I guess if I had to pick a spot, there's a great fun place called the Mockbee in Cincinnati that used to be a bootlegging tunnel. So that's kind of fun. That's a good one. Let's see. First concert I ever went to. That's actually, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about my first show. My first show ever. Oh man, I definitely went to things with my parents that were kind of, my dad used to start, once I started getting interested in music more, I think my dad started taking me to blues shows. But before that, there was just like sort of a little bit of this and that. There were shows around. If there were like things happening, I'd go, and I can't really exactly remember. I definitely remember the first show that I ever went to on purpose was I went with a friend to a hardcore show, and that was what did it. I liked going to see bands. I liked seeing music, but I didn't really have that moment just yet of like this makes sense. Until I went to go see a hardcore show at a venue that is no longer around called Club Hell in Providence, and some friends took me, and in retrospect, I don't even know who played. That band was probably terrible, but I saw that moment of a bunch of guys all piling onto each other. You see the pile on, you see a bunch of guys, the singer gets the mic out, and everybody's screaming the words and hanging from the pipes in the ceiling, and I had that total light bulb of like, oh my God, I gotta do that. I need that. So that's the most. I guess the first big show I ever went to was Ozfest. I think 2006. I'm in my mid to late 20s, so that's like right about beginning of high school, early high school. Well, yeah, early high school. I went to an Ozfest, and that was definitely a pretty eye-opening experience too, because it's such a for those of you maybe a little younger who don't remember Ozfest, absolute circus, pandemonium. It's lunacy at Ozfest. It's like a carnival of questionable decisions for sure. Let's see. First CD I ever bought when I was younger. I'm not exactly sure about first CD. It may have been a John Williams score. I think it was a CD that had selections of Star Wars soundtrack songs, and I'm outing myself as a major geek right now, but it had a bunch of Star Wars songs, and then it had a selection of other John Williams choice cuts. There was I think E.T., and then maybe Close Encounters and the Jurassic Park theme, weirdly. So it was a few of those. I'm pretty sure that's the first thing I ever got. Of course, there were cassettes and things before that, but if we're talking CDs, it was almost definitely John Williams. Or again, because I think it was the time for it. I think there may have been an Aaron Carter CD somewhere in the mix about there, because I was like probably no more than 6 or 7 years old. So that's there's my dog in the back there. Which bands? Okay, so. Oh, bands I'd love to play with. I mean, the list, bands I'd love to play with is a list a mile long, and I've been lucky to play with a lot of bands that I've been lucky to play with Static X. I've been lucky to play with Unearth and Vital Remains, and some really great bands that I loved when I was younger and look up to. Okay, easy. Every Time I Die, Norma Jean. Let's just say Nine Inch Nails, Coheed and Cambria, Mastodon. There's my five that haven't happened yet. Some of them might not ever, but maybe they will. I don't know. Okay. So let's see. Where are we going to be next? If you are in the New England area, here's where we will be next. We are playing an event called Livestock. It is in Ashby, Mass. You can find info for that on our Facebook, which is, of course, you can just look us up by our name, The Mighty Fall. Or if you are one of those people who still uses a computer to go on Facebook, you can go to facebook.com/The Mighty Fall Band. And that's going to get you there. And you can get ticket info and such there. 2 stages, outdoors. It's one of the only things we'll be doing this summer, given the circumstances. So it's going to be a banger. We're going to be playing some new material. We have an EP out now. It's called Look the Part. You can get it on iTunes. You can get it on Spotify. You can get it on Apple Music. You can get it on just about anywhere that you can get music. And if you want to get a hard copy, my band mails them out ourselves. We got merch. We got all kinds of goodies. Drop us a line. We will send you some stuff for a little scratch. You feel me? The dog's mad at me. I don't know if you can hear that, but he's growling. He's mad. He thinks I'm talking to somebody. I'm talking to the camera. Anyway, thanks guys so much for having me. Really appreciate you. Again, my name is Nick. I play guitar in a band called The Mighty Fall. We are from Providence, Rhode Island. Hope to see you out there when things are a little less strange out in the world. In the meantime, please be safe, and we'll see you soon.